last problem you did.
Okay, what problem is that? 2i.
That is problem. Yeah, problem 26.
26? Oh. No, it's this one. 2i minus 4. Okay, so we're gonna go to question 23. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go to question 23. So the two are the question to the back. Question 23. Can somebody tell me what question 23 is? Yeah. Okay, 3 over 7, right? So then you're gonna say, okay, well that's screw 3 over screw 7 because that radical is to both terms. So when you rationalize this, so if you screw 7 times screw 7, remember just multiply by the same thing as the denominator. There's only one term, so you don't need a conjugate, so it's 7 square root 21. So that is your answer here. This is the easy one. Okay, so question 23. Question 24, I don't know what 24 says. Can somebody tell me what question 24 is?
2. 2.
Uh-huh.
Radical 6.
Uh-huh.
Over.
Uh-huh.
Radical 15.
Radical 15? Oh, you need to rationalize this? Okay, so square root 15 here. So again, there's a radical in the denominator. You just need to rationalize it here. Square root 15 over square root 15. That's equal to 2 square root of, I think, 90 over 15. So 2 square root of 90 is going to be, well, 90 is you're going to take out a 2, 45, 3, and 15, and then 3 and 5, right? So those two has friends. You can take out a 3, but left with 2 and 5 inside, so it'll be 2 times 3, square root of 10 over 15. So that is equal to 6 over 15, square root of 10. That's equal to 2 over 5, square root of 10. That's the answer here. That's 24. Any question? You still can ask question. Although it's live, still ask question. It's better to ask question actually. $24. What does question 25 says? Adriana, do you know what question 25 says?
Yeah, is parentheses. 128 x to the 3/4 j. I'm sorry, y to the half over 2x.
Put the C like this?
Yeah, isn't it?
To which power?
No, it's 2x to the third.
Which power?
Oh, that's -4/3.
Negative 4
But the bottom has like more things.
Okay, so can you tell me?
I think it's x to the 2/3, and then y to -3/2.
Okay, so this question is the most common miss on the first test questions. So this one is one that you're gonna show up again because although it's the most common miss, now we gotta make sure we get better on this question. So I will put on this test for sure. So the parenthesis told me a lot of things here. Those are actually quotient rules. So let's write down all the rules. So here this is gonna be a to the m over a to the n equal to the top minus bottom, like this. So that's how I'm gonna simplify the inside. The fraction can be simplified 128 over 2, so that's gonna be 64. Are we okay? Top subtract bottom is going to be x to the 3 over 4 minus 2/3. Y to the 1/2 subtract -3 over 2. And all over to -4 over 3 power. Now I'm going to do this number on the side, so I'm going to do it here. 3 over 4 minus 2 over 3. I need a common denominator, so I need to multiply this side by 3 over 3, and this 4 over 4. So I'm going to get 12. This one's 9 minus 8, so that's equal to 1 over 12. So I here is going to get 64 to the x 1 over 12. Any questions here? Questions here? I just do top subtract bottom. The fraction is going to subtract each other. Here is going to be what? Well, 1/2 subtract negative 3 over 2. So it's going to be subtracts adding. So it'll be 1/2 adding 3 over 2. That's equal to 4 over 2. That's equal to 2. So that's going to be y to the 2 to the negative 4 over 3. Now what's the crucial thing is here, I always put a 1 on the number here. I put a different color there just to kind of help you. Now, those are the rule I use, right? This is the quotient rule, top subtract bottom, stay at the top. The second rule that we're going to be using is this rule. A to the n power. So there's a power on the outside. So what do you think the rule says? A to the what?
M times n.
N times n, right? So it's times. So that means I'm going to bring the power inside. So that's going to be 64 to the negative 4 over 3. So 1 times negative 4 over 3. And that's 1 over 12. So I'm going to do 1 over 12 times that. Negative 4 over 3. I can simplify here before I multiply. That's 1. Negative 1, sorry. That's going to be 3. So that's equal to negative 1 over 9. So that's going to be x to the negative 1 over 9. Any questions here? And then I'm going to do 2 over 1 times negative 4 over 3. That's equal to negative 8 over 3. So that's going to be y to the negative 8 over 3 to the 1 power now. So now the power rule says, so I'm using this rule, right? Am I using this rule? Now I see negative exponents. If a negative exponent means what? Well, here's a negative exponent means a to the negative n. This is 1 is equal to 1 over a to the n becomes positive. Or 1 over a to the negative n is equal to a to the n over 1. So those are the rules I will be using. So those 3 rules I've been using. So that's equal to 64 to the negative 4 over 3. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to do here. All this is from numerator going to go to the other side. Becomes positive. So it'll be 64 to the 4 over 3 power. And this one's an x to the 1 over 9 power. And this is a y to the 8 over 3 power. And this is all over 1. Let me know if you have any questions. So we apply, this is the first rule here. Quotient rule, you can do product rule there. Second rule here, the third rule here. Now I'm almost finished a problem. I'm going to do the fourth rule here. There's also a product rule, so I'm going to write it down for you, but I didn't use for this question. But this one's a to the m over n. It's called definition radicals. So it's going to be n roots of a to the m power. And I'm going to do that to 64. We're going to do that to the next question as well. Right? So here is 64 to the 4 over 3 power. So that's equal to the third roots of 64 to the 4th power. Imagine that you had to do 64 to the 4th power, and I didn't ask you to give you a calculator.
Would have been easy.
It would have been easy, right? It would have been, but how do we do it? Avoid that. Yeah, we have a little bit. So obviously here's a problem, right? 64 to the 3/4 power. So what do you do here first?
You do the index first.
Index first, which is root first. But do you know what is 64 to the third root?
4.
So 4, and then 4 to the third power is equal to 4 to the fourth power. That's equal to 256.
6, yeah.
So that's equal to, the final answer is going to be 1 over 256, x to the 1 over 9 power, y to the 8 over 3 power. And that's my final answer. And this one is the most difficult question for the last test, but for this test, hopefully you can accomplish all the things. So we talk about a lot of mathematical rules. We got what? The only two rule is not in here is the fifth rule here, which is the product rule, which is a to the n times a to the n is equal to a to the n plus n. And the sixth rule is going to be a to the 0 is equal to 1. We didn't use any of those two rules here, but we're going to use it next time on different questions. Question about this one? What's the next question? What's the next question? I'm not going to erase this part because I might use it later. What's the next question?
19.
No, I think this one's 25.
26.
26. Can you tell me what's 26 is?
Yeah, 2i
2i
plus 8 over 6i minus 2.
So the problem is I on denominator. Nicholas, what do I do here? If I on denominator, I mean Spider-Man.
There can't be an I on the denominator.
Yes. So what can I do here?
Don't you have to like square root it?
No, you cannot square root us. No.
You multiply by 6i plus
Multiply
2.
it by 6i plus 2.
There's Spider-Man there.
As a Spider-Man.
King.
sense.
Spider-Man is actually smart, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, 6i plus 2, the conjugate. And the reason why it is conjugate because we use an idea of difference of a square. So this one's going to be a minus b here, and times bottom is a plus b. We know is equal to a squared minus b squared. So the bottom here is going to be 36, and then I squared,
Yeah.
right? I put in a different color marker, so hopefully you can see. Minus what? 2 times 2?
Minus 4.
Minus 4. On the top it's going to be 2i times 6i, which is 12i squared. So I'm going to write in red.
Plus 16.
I squared. And then
4i
plus 4i plus 48i and then plus 16. You had to do the
Yeah.
distributing part. So this one's I squared. What did I squared change to?
-1.
-1. So instead of writing that, I'm going to write down 12 times -1. And plus 52i
Plus 16.
plus 16 all over
36 times -1.
36 times -1
Minus 4.
minus 4. And we're going to say -1 here. So I here multiplication is going to happen first. So right here we're going to get
-12.
-12 plus 52i plus 16 all over -40. So that's equal to what? 4 plus 52i all over -40. But if you get an answer here, that's great. But you need to simplify more. You need to split this more. So that's going to be 4 over -40 plus oh, this is minus because plus over negative is negative. 52 I over 40. So that's going to be negative 1 over 10 minus, I think it's 13 over 10I. So that should be a final answer, or 13I over 10. So that is the final answer here. If you can get it there, tomorrow is going to be a easy day. But the problem is that you guys are going to have to do a lot of practice because you got 16 questions, 45 minutes by the time you get a test. So literally, you have to finish each problem in 3 minutes. Or you want to ideally finish each problem in 2 minutes, so you have 1 minute to check your answers. So if you take too long to do this problem, then you're gonna get stuck with question 1. Then you're gonna stuck there forever. Also do the question that you know how to do. Don't do the question you don't know how to do. Can I go to the next question? What's the next question?
I to the 73rd power.
I to the 73rd power. So I to the 73rd power. So I to the 73rd power. But we know they repeat every 4 terms. So the first term is going to be I. The second term is going to be negative 1. The third term is going to be negative I. The fourth term is going to be 1. And then it's going to be I. So this is I to the first, I to the second, I to the third, and that's equal to I to the fourth. But it will repeat every 4 times. So it turns out the next one is going to be I, negative 1, negative I, and 1. So that's equal to I to the 5th, I to the 6th, I to the 7th, and I to the 8th. But it will repeat again, so it's going to be I to the equal to I to the 9 here. So I don't want to keep on going, so dot, 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 dot. So I to the 73 power, that means we just had to find out how many times it repeat. So it will repeat every 4 times, so I could take a 73, and I do long division. It's going to be 4, 1, it's going to be 4, it's going to be 33, I think, and that's going to be 8, so it'll be 32 with a 1. So it'll be 18 with a remainder of 1. So what's 18 mean? 18 means I'm going 18 cycles. So when I finish all 18 with no remainder, I'm going to go back to here. Okay? Now remainder 1, then I'm going to go here. So the answer is I. So at 72 times, it repeats 18 times already. At 73 times, it's going to happen the first term. 74, 75, 76.
So if it's up to, let's say if it was
3, 4,
75.
5, 6.
So if it was 75, it would be like I3.
75 is going to be negative I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd be I3 as well.
So
But
there's only 4 ways the answer could go?
yes. And on SAT, they have seen it in the past. It's A, B, C, D. It was like the A is I, B is negative 1, C is negative I, and D is 1. And it could be I to any power. So it's a good SAT question. I don't know if they test that anymore, but it's one of the questions that people always tended to.
I have no idea.
And pick C. That's what a lot of you guys do, right? Just pick C.
Yeah, I pick B.
No, I know you need me right now.
I just say, I want to have a B, so I pick B.
Why not have an A? They pick A.
But it's never A.
You have a low self-confidence. Okay, next question. 26, 27?
Yeah, 27.
What does 27 says?
27, no, 29. 29 says 3x2, 3x squared.
Wait, does the screen record the whole board or no?
Yeah.
Okay, what does 27 says?
29, it says 3x squared.
Wait, it's 20, that question is 26, 27, should be 28, right? Let's give the number.
28i.
Huh?
28 I over 73.
Okay.
9 is what?
So this question is 27, right?
This is
No.
technically.
So I jump a number.
Yeah,
Yeah, you went from 26 to 28.
Okay, I don't know how to count.
So it's 29.
Okay, 29.
3x squared,
Uh-huh.
y squared, minus 2x to the 4th power, and y to the 6th power.
Uh-huh. What are you supposed to do here?
Over, 2x, to the 4th power, and y to the 5th power.
Okay. So if obviously there's two term over one term, what do?
Split it.
You split it. So it'll be 3x squared y to the square over 2x for y to the 5th. So we just have to simplify this. 2x for y to the 6th all over 2x for y to the 5th. So top subtract bottom, and here it's going to be 3 over 2. X to the negative 2. Well, I'll write it out. 2 minus 4. Y to the 2 minus 5. Minus, this one's going to be 1. So x to the 4 minus 4, which is 0. Y to the 6 minus 5. This is a 1. 1 over 1. So that's equal to 3 over 2. X to the negative 2. Y to the negative 3. And here it's going to be 1 x to the 0 is 1. And the 1 y. So that's equal to 3 over 2 x squared y to the 3 minus y. And do you need to combine this denominator? No, just leave it like this. When you are splitting, leave it like this. Always a better format.
Then we'll go to 30.
Yeah.
30 is 125 over negative 2 over 3.
125 to the what?
It's, so like it's,
To the power.
The power, what?
power of negative 2 over 3.
So, first of all, what do I do the first step? Put it over because it changes to positive, always. Yeah, a lot of people have answers as negative something, but it's not negative something. The negative power just flip over, that's it. So, then there's the power over roots, right? A to the m over n is equal to n roots of a to the m. So that's equal to what? 1 over 5 squared? No. Third root of 125, and then square. Third root of 125 is what? 5 squared. That's equal to 1 over 25. Last question. I think one more, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
31,
Okay, what 31 says?
y plus 1, no, I'll wait for you.
Okay, y plus 1. Y plus 1?
Y plus 1 over y2 minus 6y plus.
Y squared?
Minus 6y plus 8, and then minus 3 over y2 minus 16.
Okay. So you say, okay, are they adding and subtracting? Do they have a same denominator?
No.
No, what do you do now?
Common denominator?
No, before you do that,
Factor.
factor it. You think about it, if you have some simple math, let's say 1 over 15 minus 2 over, let's say, I don't know, 3 over 10, like this, right? So technically the first step is factoring. 5 times 3 minus 3 times 5 times 2. And then you need a common denominator. So I need to multiply this by 2 over 2. And this by 3 over 3 because it depends, right? So then you say, okay, let's do that, let's factor it. So y plus 1 over y. Is this a factorable? It should be a plus, right? That's a plus, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be y minus 4 and y minus 2 minus 3 of y plus 4 and y minus 4. So that should be your first step. So now we got to determine the LCD. LCD is decide what do they have at alike. So you're gonna write it down, y minus 4. And what do they have different? Y minus 2, y plus 4, right? So we had to accordingly, we had to figure out which one is which. So this one is missing y plus 4. So I'm going to multiply by y plus 4 here. So it'll be y plus 4 and then y plus 4. And this one's missing what? 1 minus 2. So then therefore, on the bottom is going to be y plus 4 times y minus 4 times y minus 2 over, this one is a foiling, so I'm going to foil this part. So it's going to be y squared plus 5y plus 4 minus 3 times y minus 2. Can the y minus 2 cancel?
Yeah.
No.
No, because it's a minus sign. Thank you. So it distributes it. So I hear even you have FOIL part, before you FOIL, you don't cancel anything. Y squared plus 5y plus 4 minus 3y plus 6 over the y plus 4, y minus 4, and y minus 2. So left with the y squared plus 2y plus 10 over y plus 4, y minus 4, and then y minus 2. So we just finished going over all the review sheet through the 3 videos. And you guys can go back and watch any of those videos. Make sure you understand everything before you come in tomorrow. Or coming after school, make sure you understand all that.
How many questions are we gonna be on?
That's 16.
Three,
It's always 2-page front and back. And you gotta have enough space. Try to work really nicely through it, and can you pause the stop recording part? Just done. Crossword.
Press the X.